Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are building a classic Japanese home here in Paralives. Actually, I'm not sure if classic is the best way to describe this because I feel like we ended up making like an average anime protagonist home. So this is more of a typical suburban Japanese home, I guess. It looks very similar to another suburban Japanese home I built for The Sims 4 a very long time ago, back in 2020, I think. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this build turned out. I was planning on getting this up much sooner, but I was actually pretty busy with work stuff, and I also met up with my best friend. We went to like an art market last weekend, which was quite fun, and I didn't really have that much time to finish this build. Actually, there's also like a building project happening outside my house, and that was also a factor in why I ended up uploading this way later than I originally planned, because I couldn't really record my voiceover because it was so noisy, even though this build has been sitting in my like folder, just waiting for a voiceover. So here we are. Hopefully the background noise isn't too bad, but yeah, really happy to be back with more Paralives content. I've been really loving this game so far, and I'm still not bored of the build mode on this game. And actually, before I forget, I just want to wish you all a happy Pride Month. This is a very special month because I'm also celebrating my channel's anniversary this month. But I want to know what your guys' plans are for Pride Month. I might rewatch some of my favorite LGBT anime. I feel like Yuri on Ice is long overdue for a rewatch, and I've suddenly had an interest in rewatching it thanks to Heated Rivalry, because I feel like the fandom has just acknowledged it as kind of like the spiritual precursor to Heated Rivalry, which is pretty awesome. I might also watch the new Given movie because I haven't seen that yet. I tried looking it up if it was available on Crunchyroll, but it's not available in my country, which is pretty annoying. So I might just get the DVD for that actually. And I'm thinking of getting the new Story of Seasons game that came out for PS5. It's the Grand Bazaar. And hopefully that has like same-sex marriage. I think it does actually, now that I think about it. Because they also had it for A Wonderful Life, which is my favorite Story of Seasons game. I played it all the way back in the PS2, and I do have a same-sex couple for my gameplay for that game, actually, and I love it so much. I think I've spent over 70 hours on that game so far on Steam, and yeah, let me know what your guys' plans are for Pride Month. But yeah, for this build, I did actually play around with like the off-grid wall placement, which was pretty fun. A little bit clunky for my liking because the walls tend to snap to other walls, like to the end points of other walls or to the midpoints of other walls as well. Also, it was at this point where I discovered that you can actually change not only the roof texture, but also kind of like the texture on the ends of the roof, like wherever the ends of the roof meet. I'm not sure if it's called a roof ridge. I don't think it is, because the roof ridge is like the top part of it. I'm not sure what you call like the corner edge pieces, but we're just gonna call them roof edges. You can change the material on the roof edges, which is quite nice. I didn't expect you to be able to do that for this build. But yeah, overall I'm really happy with how this build turned out. I wish I could have done a better job with the floor plan, especially for the second floor. I feel like I might have made this build a little too small, and it was hard for me to fit in everything, and the different rooms on the upstairs ended up being weirdly sized. So we have a master bedroom that's like very oversized, and then we have a kid's bedroom that's very small. It's like a 3 by 2 meter room, because I wanted to make sure that all of the bedrooms have walk-in closets, because Japanese homes typically have a lot of storage for, their clothes, but also for bedding as well, for like the futons. And we also have like just a random third room on the second floor as well, which I didn't know what to do with. Initially, I was planning on making it into like a study room. But like I said, the master bedroom ended up being way too big. I was able to fit kind of like an office area on there as well. So I ended up just making it into a storage room, the extra third room on the second floor. Actually, now that I think about it, I probably could have made it into a bathroom. Yeah. I'm not sure if these kinds of Japanese homes, though, would have like more than one bathroom, because we do have like the traditional bathroom layout that they have in these kinds of typical Japanese homes, which is, having the bathroom itself divided into multiple rooms. So there's kind of like an entrance area that has like a washing machine, and then there's a separate bathing area, and then there's a separate area for the toilet. And actually the toilet ended up being a pretty big room as well. But yeah, I'm still working on how to properly plan for this game. And I gotta say that I do have a hard time with like subdividing rooms, because whenever I would do it to pre-existing rooms, it does kind of mess up the floors or the ceilings or whatever. And yeah, hopefully they can look into that, because it's a bit clunky. And yeah, I think that's the only thing that I really struggle with in this game. It becomes less of an issue when you have finalized your floor plan from the get-go. But if you want to like subdivide a room that's already built, for example, that's when things start to get a bit glitchy. And it's really annoying actually to make changes to it. Like, I was thinking of redoing the layout for the second floor, but I ended up not doing it because I didn't want to mess up what I've already started. Yeah, still, I was pretty happy with how this house turned out. And it's my first Japanese home in this game. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making more of these, just because I'm just such a huge fan of Japanese homes in general, and just Japanese culture in general. I absolutely love it. And yeah, as you know, I'm also a huge anime fan. And on a completely unrelated note, I just want to say that I have finally started watching the Witch Hat Atelier anime, and I have been really loving it so far. I'm only on episode 5, so please don't spoil it for me, you guys. But I have been really loving it. The story isn't actually what I expected, which is nice, because I feel like it's boring when the story gets predictable. But yeah, the production quality on that show is insane. And actually the story, for some reason, reminds me so much of A Little Princess. I think it's because of how she has her relationship with like her classmates and stuff. And there's this mean girl that I think is gonna become friends with her in the future. I hope they become friends. But yeah, it's interesting. It's really giving me like A Little Princess vibes. I'm also looking forward to watching the He-Man movie as well. I know it's not an LGBT movie, but it has Nicholas Gallatin in it, so they might throw like some fan service on there or something, because I've been really loving Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I cannot wait for the follow-up movie. I don't know when it's coming out actually, but I know it's called Red, White, and Royal Wedding, and I am so excited to check it out, you guys. I really love Red, White, and Royal Blue because of how funny it is actually, and also how wholesome it is. Also, now that I think about it, I still haven't finished the 3rd season of Heartstopper actually, so I might go ahead and rewatch that in celebration of Pride Month, because I really love Heartstopper, you guys, but I'm not gonna lie, I found the later seasons to be a bit hard to watch, especially because they've been dealing with like more serious issues, like Joe Locke's character's like eating disorder and stuff like that. So it's been a bit hard to watch, but I appreciate that they're actually, taking time to really portray this with the right amount of care and nuance that it deserves. I haven't seen the full season yet, by the way, so just based off of what I've seen, it does seem like they are putting a lot of care and nuance into this portrayal, and I really appreciate that. And honestly, I feel like Joe Locke and Kit Connor are probably focused on their solo careers because they've been doing great individually. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sad that Heartstopper is ending, but I'm pretty sure those two actors are going to be doing great things in the future, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. Also, can't wait to see what Hudson Williams and Connor Story have in store for us as well. I'm pretty sure those two are pretty busy. I think they're gonna start filming season 2 of Heated Rivalry in August. And I'm not gonna lie, I am so impatient for the next season. I really wish we get like an intermission miniseries with Scott and Kip, which is probably my favorite couple in that whole entire show. Like, I'm sorry to all of the Hudson and Connor fans, but I just love Scott and Kip's wholesome story, I guess. I mean, who am I kidding? I also love Ilya and Shane, so there's that. I bought like a Heated Rivalry print to that art market that I went to with my best friend last weekend, and I loved it because I wasn't expecting to see Heated Rivalry stuff. I was expecting to see like Stardew Valley stuff because I didn't realize this at first, but apparently Stardew Valley is really popular in my country. I've only realized how popular it was because there's a Stardew Valley concert. It was like this symphonic concert that happened like a couple of months ago. And I remember trying to buy tickets for that, but it was already sold out like within minutes of the tickets going up online, which is quite frustrating because they didn't even bother to add like a day 2 to this concert. I feel like they could have easily added a day 2, but whatever. So yeah, I'm still a bit salty that I didn't get to go to that concert, but yeah, apparently Stardew Valley is really popular where I'm from. And I'm not surprised to see a lot of Stardew Valley merch. Of course, all of the Shane stuff was out, which is quite frustrating. But I did ended up getting a Abigail keychain, which is so cute. She is my best girl of Stardew Valley. I think it's going to be between Abigail and Leah. I feel like Maru is really underrated as well. And I feel like Harvey is also really underrated for some reason. But I mean, Shane is my first love. Actually, that's not true. Abigail is my first love because she's actually the first character that I married in Stardew Valley, and Shane was the second one. And I'm not seeing a lot of love for Alex as well. I really love Alex. Not because of Stardew Valley itself, but because of my Stardew Valley Let's Play in The Sims 4, actually. Because back when I used to do Let's Plays, I asked my audience to vote which bachelor they wanted me to marry, and they picked Alex, and it's actually thanks to that I've had a better appreciation for Alex's character. So yeah, I like Alex now. He's like definitely moved from the bottom to like the top of my tier list. He's definitely up there with Shane, but he hasn't quite replaced Shane yet in my number 1 spot. I don't think anyone will, but yeah, I really like Alex though. But yeah, right now for this house, we are furnishing the LDK section, which stands for Living Dining Kitchen. And we're going for more of an open concept floor plan. I love the fake sliding doors actually, because I just used windows for that, and I didn't use actual doors for that because they didn't look quite right. The frames were looking quite chunky and it was giving me Sims 4 vibes. So I just used those windows and made them look like fake sliding doors, and I think it worked. And yeah, I really love that chair. Now that I look at this, I feel like I could have made this space a little bit bigger because yeah, the chair is looking a little bit oversized. I think you might be able to resize the furniture and size it down a bit and still make it functional. correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen people size down pieces of furniture and having their parents still able to use it, but it might mess up the animations though, so I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, I've been really loving being able to clutter in this game. It's so satisfying to be able to just plop things on surfaces and for them to be on that surface as well. I think is really great. And I definitely just went with my personal style when I furnished this build, which is kind of like more modern and minimalistic, I guess. And like I said, the bathroom for this build is split into 3 different rooms. I'm not actually sure how laundry works in this game. I might have to look it up. But I did put a washing machine, I think, because in the buy catalog of this game, there's like 2 washing machines. I'm not sure if one of them's a washing machine or a dryer, or if both of them are washing machines, but yeah, I probably should have tested it out. I definitely did do some gameplay. I definitely play tested, but I just play tested like the basic stuff. Like I just wanted to make sure that you can cook and clean and kind of like just do your basic necessities, and you can kind of do that still. But yeah, I'm not sure how the other appliances work. I don't think I've made coffee in this game yet, and I don't think I've tried out the dishwashers or the washing machines. So there's that. Definitely adding to my list of things to try out. But if you guys have done any gameplay, let me know how it's like. One thing that I'm kind of scared to do is to try out like some family gameplay, because I'm not really good at looking after my Sims. So if you have noticed, I do tend to just go for a single sim or a couple that doesn't have any kids, because I find that that's the easiest way to play the game. I know some people like big families, and I remember trying that kind of gameplay back in The Sims 3, and it was a nightmare, because I remember doing it for my gameplay on The Sims 3 Pets, actually. So I not only had to care for 4 kids, I also had to care for a dog and a horse, and that was a lot of fun. And actually, I wasn't planning on having 4 kids for that save file, but I remember my sim just gave birth to triplets, which is even worse because you're caring for like 3 babies and 3 toddlers and stuff like that. And I also had a horse and a dog that I had to care for, so that was fun. But yeah, that was probably the longest generation I played for The Sims 3, because I don't really do well with generations gameplay, to be completely honest with you guys. I think the farthest I've gone was like 4 generations, and that was it. But I do lose interest in the gameplay once I get to a certain point. I do like the more, I guess, rags to riches, survival-esque kind of gameplay for these kinds of simulation games. Yeah, I like to start off with like having little money and making and just basically working my way up. Anyway, for the master bedroom, I put these wall sconces on the side of the bed, and I was hoping I was going to be able to have the option to flip them or to like mirror them, because I know you can do that with certain items. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible with those particular items, which is kind of weird. But yeah, apparently there's only certain items that you can flip, which is quite fun. And yeah, like I said earlier, the master bedroom did turn out quite bigger than I expected, and I feel like I could have probably fit in another bathroom on this floor and maybe just a bigger walk-in closet. Speaking of the walk-in closets, I did edit out the footage for that because it's not the most interesting. But yeah, I did include quite a bit of footage of me just cluttering because, like I said, it's just really fun and really satisfying. I also didn't know that you can size down beds a little bit more. I also didn't know that if you size down desks, they become small enough that chairs don't actually snap to them. So there's that. And yeah, this is the kids' bedroom. Unfortunately, it's so small. Like I said, the room sizes in this house ended up being pretty weird. But I mean, I tried my best to fit in as many things in here as I can. Um, let's just say that those books on the bookshelves are manga. And yeah, I realized that I'm once again making a teenager that is really into manga. So yeah, another otaku bedroom, similar to what I did in my previous build for this game, which is quite funny. I guess it's very relatable because I do see myself as an otaku as well. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like I'm not really the type of builder that does a lot of like kids' rooms and stuff like that. It's really hard for me for some reason. I'm not gonna lie. But I might try that out eventually. So yeah, for the teen bedroom, I also didn't include the walk-in closet because once again, I find that very boring as well. But yeah, I did play around with putting some plants on some baskets that I found in buy mode, and I think that turned out really well. I love having these potted plants kind of vibes. And of course, this wouldn't be a Japanese build without the cherry blossom trees, so I did have to put a couple of them on the outside. I didn't take up the whole lot for this build actually, because the lot looks really small, but there's actually a lot of space. But yeah, really happy with how the landscaping turned out actually. It turned out really cozy. And I did throw in a little bicycle over there in front as well. Really looking forward to having actual vehicles in this game added in the future. But it looks like that is going to be it for this build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And once again, thank you so much for watching. You all have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.